Thanks everyone for joining us today. We're very excited to have you with us. We're going to be talking about getting started with Mylio Photos. And if it's your first time with us, welcome. If you've joined us before, hope that you learn, something new every time you join us. My name is Lori Rubin. I'm a product evangelist for Mylio. I'm a professional photographer and photo educator. I've been in the education industry with photography companies for all my life. It seems like forever. So I love this. It's my passion. And I know Angela is also the same way. She loves to teach. She's a product evangelist, fine art photographer, and photo educator. So Angela is with us today. We're really happy to have her helping to answer questions. She is the Mylio Photos guru. She wrote the manual, and if she doesn't know the answers, I don't know who would. Maybe tech support, but she's very well versed in the program. So we're happy to have you with us, Angela. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about what is Mylio Photos, how to set up and create an account, also how to add some photos, syncing your devices, browsing your library, and also more resources so that you can learn more after this webinar. We've got tons of education out there, whether it's the manual, videos, tutorials, lots of stuff for you. Let's go ahead and talk about an overview. What is Mylio Photos? So Mylio Photos is both an application and a service. Let's talk about that. But it turns your computers, phones, and tablets and storage devices into a smart, powerful system for managing a lifetime of memories. And with the photo app, you can share from any source, and it's cataloged to one library. So now you can have access to all of your images on all of your devices. You can view even huge libraries on your iPhone, which is fantastic. I've never been able to do that before Mylio. Being able to search images, so it does face recognition, text recognition, GPS, camera data, and more. You can also edit your photos on any of the devices that you have Mylio installed on, and you can get full access to your library without the need for internet or cloud data fees. We're very much into privacy. And it also protects your photos from device failure or loss. If there's a natural disaster, we help you back up your images. Okay, so let's get started. How to set up a Mylio account. And I was going to tell you about what Mylio Photos is, both an application and a service. So the application is what gets installed on your computer, on your iPhone, on your tablet, and then the service is what connects all your devices together. Okay, let's talk about downloading your Mylio Photos app. So this is how you would go about starting out. You would go to mylio.com, and then you would click on the button that says Get Mylio Photos Now. That will take you to a page where you can log in if you've already had an account, or you can create a new account if you're a new user. From there, you can click on Download Mylio Photos. And you can download Mylio Photos for Mac or for Windows. So that's the button you would click here. Simply enter your email address right here, and then you would click the Continue button. Check your email. And then in there, you can go ahead and confirm and log in for a new account, or you can log into Mylio Photos for existing accounts. So just click on the Launch Mylio Photos button in your browser. It's this button right here. Okay. Hopefully, any questions so far? Okay, looks like Angela's in there answering some questions or giving you some links. Thank you.
Yep, we had one question that I went ahead and answered in the Q&A. Okay. And if anybody's interested in moving your Mylio system folder from your computer to an external drive, I did put that answer into the Q&A, so you can take a look at that.
Great, thank you for that.
No problem.
Okay, let's talk about installing Mylio Photos. And we'll talk about for both Mac OS and for Windows. We'll start with the Mac. So what you're going to do is once you download Mylio, you're going to try to locate this mylio.dmg file, and it's in your downloads folder. It should look like this. Just simply double click on it to start the installation process. And then you would just click and drag Mylio over into your applications folder. And then from there, you can launch it. That's it for Mac. And then for Windows, you would download the mylio.msix file, going to look something like this. That is located in your downloads folder on Windows Explorer. And there you can just double click and choose install. You want to make sure that you allow Mylio Photos to make changes by clicking yes to install. And after installation, simply launch and open Mylio Photos. So after you launch Mylio Photos app, click the Let's Go button. And by the way, all this is in the manual, so you can always refer back to that as well. Simple as that on the computer. We recommend that you start out installing on the computer, by the way. Okay, so let's talk about collecting your images. So you're going to gather all your images from all your devices into a single location. This helps with organization. And I think you're going to be surprised at how many wonderful images you'll find that maybe you haven't seen in a long time or you forgot that you took. I know that's happened to me. These are the devices that you can use for both viewing and for downloading. So computers, phones, tablets, hard drives, memory cards, digital cameras. You can even download from social media, NAS, which are network attached storage devices, and scanners. We can click on here. So installing Mylio Photos, like you can use on every device. So we work on Windows and Mac OS, Android, and iOS devices. These are our viewing devices. These are automatically added as Mylio Photos device when you install the application. So you can view it on your computer, your tablet, or your smartphone. There's also storage devices, which you can manually add from the devices section of the dashboard, which would be, for example, an external hard drive, NAS, or cloud service. And this is how you would add the device. Now I'm going to jump over to Mylio just to show you what mine looks like here. So currently I don't have any images. I'm going to be installing a sample library here in just a moment, but I wanted to show you how I have my setup. I have a MacBook Pro, I have a iPhone that has Mylio installed, and I have 2 vaults, and this is where my originals are stored, both on a Seagate drive and also on a smaller Seagate drive here. Now, if you wanted to add a device, you can simply go into Actions, click on Add Device, and these are all the options you can use. So external devices, cloud services, NAS, phone or a tablet or a computer. And then once you go in here, it'll ask you, specifically, what are you looking to add? You can install a Mylio Photos onto your smartphone and simply download it from the Apple App Store. Or if you have an Android phone, you can add it from the Google Play Store. Log in with your Mylio account and then also grant access to your camera roll or media library. I'm going to show you how simple it is to install a sample library and why you might want to do this for the first time. So I'm going to go back to Mylio so we can take a look at that. So right now I don't have any photos. If I go to this view here, all photos, you'll see there's nothing installed currently. And I'm going to add the sample library. I can click here, add sample library. Under help, you can add a sample library from here. So either way, I'm going to go ahead and click on here. And it's automatically going to add a bunch of photos in here. And why this is a good idea for a first-time user is that you can get an idea of how to use Mylio Photos with a selection of images that are already ready for you. There's going to be different people, different types of photography, different locations, different dates. So it gives you a really good idea of how Mylio might organize folders and albums and such. So we're going to take a look at that. Okay. So that's as simple as that. And if you ever wanted to remove it, once you install your own photos, you can click on that little question mark there, go into remove sample library, and it'll only take, gosh, less than a minute or two to do that. So it's really simple and easy to use. Now I'm going to add my own images, and I'll show you also how easy that is to do. I'm going to click on this little plus button, and I'm going to add media accessible from this device. Now I could add media from an online service such as Facebook, Instagram, Google Photos, or Flickr, or from Mac OS, iPhoto, or Aperture. But I'm going to add from an external drive that I currently have. I have a Crucial drive that's attached, and I'm going to add some images here. So let's see, I think I'm going to go here. Let's add my favorite pets, and we'll click on Open. Now from here, I have the option of linking them. Linking means simply I'm going to leave all my images on that external device. I'm not going to move or copy them. If I wanted to, I could copy them over into my vaults here or move them, which means it would take it off of my crucial drive or my external drive and actually move them over. But in this case, I'm going to leave them where they are. Simply click here. This is verifying what's on my crucial drive, my Lori backup, my favorite pets, and here's the drive will be added to. So I'm going to go ahead and click link now. And go ahead and click continue. There we go. And it'll take just a moment for those images to pop up. We're going to take a quick look across the top of the screen to see all the different images. If I click on folder here, there it is. We'll just jump over to folders here. So here's the shared content. This is the sample library that I downloaded. And if I double click on here, you can see that this is actually in separate folders here. This would duplicate what would be on your hard drive. So if I had a scan folder, if I had an organized by year folder, let's go into there. It looks like there's 24 subfolders. So what you see on your, let's say your external drive, your folders, this is just replicating that. So that would be the sample library here, but this is my favorite pets that I just installed from my crucial drive. I double click on here, here's my pets. Okay, so while we're here, let's go ahead and go to all photos. Now we took a look at this a little bit earlier, and this is a combination of all your different images. They're not organized, so there's different ways we can view this, but if you wanted to see all of your images or scroll through by date, you do that with this little slider here. But I like looking at them via the calendar. So if you click on the calendar view here, you'll see that it's by decade. And I can just scroll through, look at a particular year that I'd like. Let's say I want to look at 2012. I can click on that. And then this is a calendar that shows the different months of that particular year. Let's jump into April. Looks like there was a underwater trip here. And then these are the days that the images were taken. So if I jump into April 16th, for instance, I'll just double click. You can see that there are images that were taken on that particular day. Now, all of these images have dates attached to them, and that's why they're showing up on the calendar in that particular year, month, and day. If you scroll all the way to the top, there's going to be an undated listing here. And these are all the images that don't have dates. Now, here's a great example of scanned images that might not have dates. So let's suppose I double click on this particular image, and I'm going to expand over here on the right-hand side, this panel here. This shows me all of my metadata and more information. But you'll see, because it's a scanned image, there's no date attached, but we can add a date simply by clicking over here on undated, and I can add a date or go by month. I can change the different formatted dates here if I wanted to. So again, that's under calendar. Just go to the top here, and then you can go through and organize these, add dates, and then they'll show up on your calendar. Okay, but that's a great, seeing your life in pictures is just really fun. Okay, next one over, let's take a look at map. And if let's say you're taking photos with your smartphone, it's got geotagging, so there's GPS data wherever you take your photos. What Mylio will do is it will look at the GPS data and place it on the map in that appropriate location. So here's some examples of around the world of images that were taken. Let's say we're going to go into Seattle. Let's take a look at this image here. I'm just clicking on this hawk. And over on the right-hand side, if I scroll down, there's the location. And here you can see the GPS coordinates. It's very easy to take an image that doesn't have a location. You can either click and drag it onto the map, or you can type in the specific location and it will drop it onto the map. So again, this is kind of a fun way to see where you've been and maybe where you might want to travel. You haven't spent a lot of time in Africa or middle of the United States, for instance. That's a great view of your life in pictures as well. Okay, the next thing we're going to take a look at is the people view. This is a really powerful feature within Mylio. This allows you to go in and actually tag faces. For instance, we've got Carol. She has been tagged, and there's 8 pictures of her. And if I want to go back, there's a section here of untagged images, and I can go in and tag these photos. Now, a nice thing that you can do is you can go in and actually zoom to face. So this is the three dots is the more panel or menu. And if you click on zoom to face, you can click on that. And what Mylio will do is it'll show you, hey, I'm going to look at this face to identify who these are. So underneath each of these is a question mark. I'll simply click on that. And I can type in, let's say, Carol. And that'll pop up there. This might be Colleen, for instance. And if you just start typing a few letters, if she's been in here before, Mylio will automatically recognize it. Here is another one. Do one more. This is Michael. Okay, even if I messed up, it knows that that's probably Michael. What I really love the best, though, is this batch tagging, which makes tagging images super easy and quick. So over on the right-hand side, you'll see it looks like two little people. It's batch tagging. Just click on that little icon. And Mylio will group together images of people that it thinks is the same person. So for instance, it's saying, is this Michael? And it can recognize even Michael as a child, which is really cool. So we say, yes, it certainly is. So I could go over here on the right-hand side and approve all of them. So I can click on approve, I can reject them, ignore, or maybe skip this batch. But I'm going to say, yep, that's certainly Michael. I'll go ahead and click on approve. Who is this? Well, this is Colleen. So I'll click here. I'll say Colleen. And let's suppose these pictures are of Michael, but we think, maybe this one isn't. Click on that little question mark and we can call him, let's just give him a new name. We're going to call him Ben. And if I press the enter key or return, this dialog will pop up. It says new person. You can type in the first name, and this is optional. You can type in the last name and you can click on create. So now Ben is in there. So you can see this is a really fast and easy way to go through all of your images, the people. Let's take a look at albums. Now you'll see most of these are from the sample library, and albums are your virtual playlist for your photos. So it's not actually duplicating any of your images. It's pointing to the original images. But in here, you can set up nice categories. So for instance, if I wanted to have a virtual album of just my landscapes, I can set up a virtual album here. You can even do subfolders. So here's album called Birds. And in the upper left-hand corner, you can see there's 59 birds. There's 3 different albums. So if I double click to open that up, I can now sort my birds by different types of birds. So there's eagles. There should be 27 eagles in this particular album. Go back. So you can see how really nice this is to be able to organize your images this way. And then there's some loose images here. I can go ahead and move these over into a particular album or folder. Easy way to do this, if I click on this hawk, for instance, I can just right click and this actions panel pops up. So you can choose to do a bunch of different things with this particular image here, from exporting it. You can move it to a different album. You can delete the file. You can rotate it. You can show in different places. You can set the cover for your photo album or folder or event, and you can even download. So you can right click again, or on the bottom right-hand corner, there's also this actions panel here. This is particularly nice if you're on an iPhone or let's say a tablet or an Android device. Click on here and then you can access this over on the right-hand side. We talked a little bit about folders. Again, this was my sample folder, and this is also my favorite pets. There is an inbox. This is, actually, I'll show you real quick. This inbox here, scroll over. This is I'm on an Apple device, but over here, there's an inbox. And this is really handy if you wanted to click and drag a photo in here. I'm going to grab something from, give me 1 second. I'll just grab something here. Okay, grab this guy, and I'm just going to drag it into my inbox. And what's going to happen is it's going to pop right into here. It's a great way of collecting images without having to worry about opening up a folder or an album and trying to drag things around. If you have something on a different drive, just simply put it into your inbox and you'll see it'll pop up here. It'll also pop up on my iPhone and or other phone device or tablet as well. That's pretty handy. Okay, let's talk about the dashboard over here on the right-hand side. So the dashboard is your kind of your all around finding what you need is what I equate it with. So when you're first getting started, you can click on this little getting started menu here. You don't have to finish the setup progress I did, but it helps you really learn about Mylio, helping you to create an account. You can take a tour of it. Shows you how to add files. So it has a little tooltip that kind of goes through and walks you through things. So it's just a nice tip for you folks that are beginning to learn more about Mylio. And then when you're done, you get 100% progress bar here. Notifications. These are some of your notifications. If there's any errors that might pop up, you'll see them here. We were in actions to add a device, but you can add your files here. You can tag faces, find similar photos and duplicates. This is very handy if you want to find duplicate files. So in this case, I'm not finding any right now, but it's a really handy feature to get rid of any duplicates that you might have. Here's our devices, library stats. So if you wanted to see, for instance, most people that have been tagged, etc., maybe a type of camera that you use the most, that's a really handy feature as well. And you can jump to see the images. So if I wanted to see Nikon D70, these are images that were taken with that particular camera. So, but that's great. The dashboard is a very handy place to start out with, and also to access a lot of different features. Under settings, this is where you can really customize Mylio, whether it's the appearance of your calendars or setting up different options within your own account. Go into settings, and then there's the help menu. So there's that how-to guide. That's one that Angela put together. Joining our community, which is a great place to join. And this is where we do a lot of our communications is through. I'm just going to bring this over here. This is our community, so you can see what's coming up or things that are up and coming. There's tutorials, there's lots of videos, our webinars. Coffee breaks are great. If you've never been to a coffee break, please join us. It's more informal, it's fun. Angela hosts those and the different topics and different people that we have that join us for that. Okay. And this is our guide. So this gives you everything you ever wanted to know about Mylio Photos and probably more, but you can click on the search icon or the search field up here, search for things, and it'll pop you right to that location. Okay. And if you need any tech support, there's troubleshooting here. You can look at FAQs, frequently asked questions. And then we ask, if you do have an issue, contacting Mylio support through the app is really handy because it will gather some information that will help our tech support reps to troubleshoot any issues that you might have. Okay. So Angela, I think I went through most of these things here. I know it was pretty fast, but we've got a lot of education materials, more videos for you to watch, and more tutorials for you. Simply, again, by going up into that help menu, you'll get access to that as well. Okay. See here, so anything else? I think we're good. Yeah, do you have any questions at all?
There aren't any yet in the Q&A or in the chat. I
Okay.
did put some links into the chat for the different topics that we've been covering as far as adding devices and adding photos. So I do encourage you to look at those. Those take you to the specific sections of the user manual. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to pop those into the Q&A and we will do our best to get those answered for you. Was there anything else in the slide deck that we needed to cover?
I believe that was it. Let me just double check.
All right.
No, I think we covered it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Terry says, thanks so much. Here we have a question from Dorcas. After you cancel in about a year, do you still have access to your photos? That's a great question. So if you choose to cancel Mylio Photos, we will be very sad to see you go. And we hope that you see value and you want to continue. However, you will always have access to your photos in your file system. We do not keep your photos hostage and your metadata. You have all of that information in an industry standard format that you can then use in other programs if you need to. So what you lose when you cancel the Mylio Photo subscription is access to this awesome interface and being able to browse your photos in the Mylio Photos application. You also lose that synchronization that keeps all of your devices synchronized together and accessible from each of those devices. But you still have access to all of your photos via your file system, and hopefully more organized than when you started. So
Great.
let's see here. What else have we got? So Jerry says, thanks so much for the introduction. Haven't signed up yet for the 30-day trial. It's why I didn't answer the original poll. I've organized all of my photos from various cameras and I store them in folders by year on my MacBook. I back them up every 2 or 3 months to a portable drive, also using a cloud service. Question, when I change an image, adding a name, location, etc., say on my iPad, will it change the original folder in my MacBook? Yes, it absolutely will. So that is one of the beautiful things about Mylio Photos is you can be on your phone or on your tablet. And as long as you're in that Mylio Photos app logged into the same account, all of those changes that you make on any of those devices will get synchronized to your main library and backed up to every device that you have connected. So yes, absolutely. And it works amazingly well. You can even move things around. So you see that same folder structure on your phone or your tablet. And let's say you want to go through and organize a few things, move this batch of images into this folder here, because that's where they belong. You can initiate that change on your iPad, and then that connection to your computer at home, it will synchronize that change and then physically move those things on your hard drive. So you're more organized than you've ever been.
Great. Okay, what
All
else? Yes, Jackie, looks like Lisa in chat.
Let's see here. I did not see the one in the chat. What do we got here? So if I want to see how this works, can I go through the user manual and find all answers? Also, is there a one-on-one session? So Jackie, the manual is a great place to start. What I would also recommend is checking out our Getting Started short videos. That's about a 20-minute course broken up into very short little sessions where you can go through and get an overview of what Mylio Photos does and how it works. And then if you want to spend a little bit more time, I do encourage you to do the Mylio Photos Fundamentals course, which you can find in our community. It's absolutely free. And that will be about a 2.5 hour course broken into modules that you can go walk through and learn everything you need to know about Mylio Photos. The manual is more of a reference guide. You certainly can read it cover to cover, but it is a very long document and it goes over every tiny little facet of the program. So one of the ways that I recommend using that is to do the fundamentals course first, and then go ahead and search in the manual when you have specific questions on different features. And as far as a one-on-one call, we are, once you sign up, you should be offered a 30-minute one-time setup call. We are doing those temporarily for now. I can't guarantee that they'll be done in the future, but we are offering those right now, and we'll be happy to help you get set up. Crystal says, how do I know where my main library is? So Crystal, what happens when you set up Mylio Photos is it creates a Mylio Photos folder on your internal hard drive, and then it will ask you to set up a vault. And that vault is ideally going to be an external drive where everything will be stored. And so you choose where everything goes. All right. Is Google Drive also included as a device? So yes, you can add Google Drive as a cloud service, as a device. That's a great question. And you can do that through the add devices. Yeah, right there where Lori's showing you. So add cloud service. And Carol says, I entered a folder for each as I tagged photos, but left a while. And when I returned, several of the people folders were missing, including my own. What do I do? So Carol, I'm not entirely sure what would have happened there. Chances are if you were in Mylio and then you left Mylio, it may have been that you moved things around on your computer and the Mylio lost track of them. What you can do is reach out to our technical support and they can take a look and see what's going on. But I don't have enough information right now to really guide you in that. I would recommend contacting support. All right. And Vernon says, are photos available to exterior albums, for example, Shutterfly? So what you can do, Vernon, is you can export your photos to Shutterfly whenever you like. You would just you'd select the images that you want to send to Shutterfly, click the share button in Mylio, export those to a location on your hard drive, and then you can upload them to Shutterfly or any other service that you use. All right. Any other questions? Lots of great questions today.
Yeah, very good. Well, we hope that you learned some good tips. And again, if you have any questions or need to find answers, we highly recommend the community for Mylio and also that user guide as well. And we're going to have more getting started webinars and coffee breaks. We hope that you'll join us.
Perfect. And one more question, looks like from Jerry. Would it be better to have my primary storage be a portable hard drive instead of my MacBook, or does it matter? So what's going to happen, Jerry, when you set up Mylio Photos is your main Mylio Photos folder will be set up on the internal hard drive of your MacBook. But we automatically set your MacBook to be auto-optimized, so it's not going to overwhelm the storage. What you're going to want to do at that point is add that external drive. That will be automatically designated as a vault. And with Mylio Photos, what a vault means is it wants to hold everything. So it's going to try to hold your entire library and automatically put everything there. So I do recommend using at least one external drive, if not more than one, because if you have just one external drive that's your vault, you only have one copy essentially of your pictures. And we recommend a 3-2-1 backup scenario. So that is 3 copies of your data on at least 2 different types of media with at least one of them off-site. So you want to make sure your pictures are in more than one place, because it's not a matter of if a hard drive will die, it's a matter of when. So having more than one external drive hooked up to Mylio and having Mylio keep those in sync is your best option.
Jackie had a question about where to find community access and short videos that you're talking about. So if you just go community.mylio.com, and then you'll be able to see quick start videos over here. There's tutorials, quick tip videos. Here's your coffee breaks and webinar replays. So it's all in this community.
All right, and Jerry says one last question. If I email or otherwise share the original photo with the updated metadata, will the person who receives the photo also be able to see that new metadata? So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Jerry, if you want to send the original file with the associated XMP file, you can go into your file system and grab both of those files and send them together. The other option would be to export the file out of Mylio, which will embed any metadata changes into that file. You would probably want to export that as a JPEG. And then any ownership information, date changes, face tags, all of that stuff will be included in the metadata of that JPEG file.
All right.
All right.
I think that wraps it up.
It does.
Again, thanks for all your questions and for joining us today. Angela, thanks so much for answering these questions.
My pleasure.
All right. We hope to see you guys again. Please join us. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.